Hello there guys, SSJHYPERION here, and today we're going to revisit an old topic. Today's topic is what if all the content in Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and even GT was in the main timeline. Now, what I mean by this is literally even the filler, all the movies, they're all going to be there. So this story is going to really change the main timeline a lot. So sit back and relax, and here's the intro. It is age 732. King Cold and his forces arrive on planet Vegeta. King Cold announces his retirement and his successor. His prodigy, his spawn, Lord Frieza. The Saiyans can do nothing but bow to their new ruler. King Vegeta commands all the Saiyans just by bowing himself that they have no choice, and all the Saiyans really even know that they don't have any choice at all. Knowing who this is, they all bow, and Frieza makes an example out of anyone that even threatens him, killing 2 Saiyan warriors. But as stated earlier, they can't do anything about this and have to accept it. But King Vegeta has one hope: his son Vegeta. And he is basically just challenged, because why is there a low-class Saiyan with his son? This shouldn't be happening. This is a disgrace. And he swiftly sends that baby off to Vampa, or will surely die. This way, he won't have to get physical and actually kill the baby. This is actually quite dark if you think about it, but we won't really touch on that too much. Anyways, here's where I'm going to pause in the story for a while. Right now, in the Broly movie, we saw that Planet Vegeta was very lush, and there was different blues and greens. But in the first ever movie where we actually saw Planet Vegeta, we saw it as a red color, red with different types of shades of oranges. And this is where I'm going to just dive into it a bit. But otherwise, just stick around my channel, because I'm going to explain this in a separate video and how this is going to work. But in this part, this first initial part that I just explained was in the springtime. Now, the whole planet is connected by basically one large mass. So there's only like pockets of water and other stuff like that. So then all the wildlife are basically connected, so there doesn't really allow for much diversity, and that's what we're going to go off of right now. That's why when the whole planet actually goes into an autumn stage, that's why the whole planet's going to turn red. And this is where we skip to 5 years later, where Bardock is returning to planet Vegeta. This is right after his whole squad was killed by none other than Dodoria. This man is pissed. Frieza's turning on them, and now he has a solid reason for why now he knows that Frieza's planning to kill them all. But exactly as he's returning to planet Vegeta, we see King Vegeta taking up another Broly. This will be Paragus' cousin's son. So there's 2 Paragus and 2 Brolys. And there's going to be 2 separate movies for the 2 separate Brolys that we're going to meet in this timeline. So that's how this part is going to go off. And King Vegeta, he's already fed up, and now there's another Saiyan trying to challenge his son again. No, he just quickly stabs this baby, getting over, he's just overly mad, I swear to God. This is just challenging his psyche too much, and he doesn't want to put much thought into it, and just quickly just stabs the baby and leaves it for dead. Paragus tries to challenge him, but is quickly dismantled as well. Quickly, he's bleeding out at the same time, and his baby is also bleeding out. This leads to Bardock returning back to the planet, where basically he is telling everyone that Frieza is planning to basically destroy the planet. And this time, he is actually healed up much more and can actually move around much better. And in this timeline, he plans to basically tell all the Saiyans and reveal some forces. So in the Broly movie itself, we did see him get a couple of forces up there. So in this timeline, we're going to say he's a bit more respected than before, and no one's just going to think he's just being stupid. So he does tell Guinea about his plan and what he thinks is going to happen. And Guinea in this timeline trusts Bardock to the absolute point because, I mean, his forces just got destroyed. What other reason does she not have to trust in him? And quickly, they send Goku off to planet Earth in the night. But as we already know from the first, basically, Saiyan movie itself, we already knew that he was going to be sent off there anyway. So basically, their plan wasn't really anything because he would have already been sent off. Basically, not long after, Bardock confronts Frieza with more forces this time, and they actually stand much better against Frieza. Bardock at this time actually has a power level of 10,000, having just gotten a Zenkai from fighting the Doria and his forces as well. So the Saiyans are charging up, and they're actually taking out many of Frieza's forces, and Frieza calls off most of his forces and tells them to wait. Bardock basically shouts at Frieza, telling him he knows his plan, and Frieza chuckles before sending a supernova down to destroy the Earth. Bardock and his team force themselves to try and push back the attack, and it only works for a couple of seconds until they're engulfed and most of Frieza's forces that were there are dead as well, excluding Zarbon and Dodoria, who are still in the ship with Frieza, and basically the Saiyans are wiped out. Now we basically skip on to where Raditz, Vegeta, Nappa, and two unknown Saiyans are. We see them basically commenting on planet Vegeta's destruction, and they're not really all that shocked. They don't really care too much. And basically that part goes the same, and we're gonna go into a bit of context here. All those Saiyans on the planet, which I count as 5, will actually return to the Frieza Force, and immediately they'll be basically bombarded with different soldiers, and they'd basically explain to them what happened even though they already knew before, and the Saiyans wouldn't really care too much. And then Frieza, who was actually planning to make an appearance and apologize to the Saiyans for them not being able to stop the asteroid or whatever, that doesn't get to happen because the Saiyans don't really care that much, and Frieza has a load taken off his chest. But there's an overcrowding of Saiyans. 5, that's more than he planned for. And he sends 2 of the Saiyans off to a separate mission right after they heal, and send some of his forces to that planet with the Saiyans. Immediately, those forces turn on the Saiyans and kill them off, and that's why now we only have 3 Saiyans. So the other Saiyans would be put off to like very weak missions, and they wouldn't really get much chance to grow and become more powerful. And this is gonna still basically connect to the canon how it already did. We're gonna basically cut off from here, and that's where we're kind of gonna leave the story for now. But I'm gonna leave you off with one note, and that's that Bardock isn't dead. In fact, through that blast, Toa and Mira actually came and tried and basically kidnapped Bardock, which is how we're gonna explain him jumping through time. But in this timeline, we're gonna see the Supreme Kai of Time basically save Bardock, and, well, not really save him, but kind of stop their plan, and this kind of forces him throughout another, like, timeline or time stream. So basically, he's diverging through time, and he's going backwards in time, which is how he's gonna end up on another planet. And that's where we're gonna leave it off for now. Alright guys, so if you like this part, just remember to leave a like, subscribe, and tell me what I can do to better this part. Alright guys, SSJHYPERION signing out. Thank you.